Avoid the words, "everything is perfect." At first glance, it seems like an innocent phrase. But in essence, it's not a message to people. It's a message to fate itself. And it's a risky message. The moment you relax and decide that everything is going as it should, life puts you to the test. This isn't magic. It's a pattern. Everything flows. Nothing stands still. Those who forget this pay a high price. In an ancient Eastern land, there lived a man named Hakim. Not a philosopher in fine robes, not a preacher in the square. A simple man with a clear, quiet gaze, the gaze of the steppe. He lived in a clay hut, drew water from a spring, and practiced silence daily. Because silence is not emptiness. Silence is a way to hear what is hidden beneath the noise of words. People came to him, some with suffering, others with questions, still others with pride. One scorching day, a man in fine clothes approached him. His face showed no shadow of doubt. He sat at the sage's feet and said, "I didn't come for advice, I just wanted to tell you everything is perfect. My family is strong, my business thrives, money flows like a river. Everything is as it should be." Hakim didn't smile. He just looked at the man intently and said quietly, "Be careful, traveler. Don't say everything is perfect." The man laughed. "Why can't I rejoice in my existence?" In that laughter was everything: self-admiration, a craving for approval, and a hint of condescension, as if he had come to show the sage what a proper life looked like. Hakim stood, took his staff, and walked toward the spring. The guest followed him. At the water's edge, the sage said, "Imagine a crystal vessel, very fragile. Inside it is clear, living water. You hold it carefully, with respect. You know, squeeze it too hard, it will shatter. Tilt it too much, the water will spill. But the moment you decide the vessel is secure, that nothing will happen, you loosen your grip. And it is in that very moment that the worst occurs." The guest darkened. "Why can't I just rejoice and say life has succeeded?" "You can rejoice," Hakim replied, "but you cannot mistake it for permanence. The moment you call your situation perfect, you cling to it, and everything you cling to will be taken away. If not by the world, then by time. Everything you grasp too tightly slips away, and everything you try to preserve at all costs crumbles first." "But isn't it good to believe that everything will continue to be perfect?" the guest persisted. "That is the danger," Hakim said. "When you believe in endless bliss, you become careless. You lose your attentiveness. But joy requires something else: silence, reverence, gratitude, not a loud cry that everything is perfect." They walked on. The sand whispered beneath their feet like fabric. "Listen," Hakim continued. "In one village there lived 3 brothers. The eldest was wealthy. The middle was educated. The youngest was humble. They gathered for a meal.
The eldest said, 'Everything is excellent. My servants are loyal. Gold flows like a river.' The middle agreed, 'Everything is wonderful. My students are diligent. My name is honored.' But the youngest remained silent. When asked, he replied, 'I have a path. I wake up, give thanks, work, and meet the day as it is.' A year passed. A hurricane destroyed the eldest's home. Illness took the middle brother's students, but the youngest still rose at dawn, gave thanks, and walked on. Because he was not attached, and so he did not lose himself." The guest listened. A crack appeared in his gaze, internal, invisible to others. He became more attentive, and that is the first step toward understanding. Hakim went on, "Fate crushes pride not because it is cruel, but because everything loud grows deaf. There was a man named Zubair. He was poor and quiet. One day fortune smiled upon him. He found gold, and he began to tell everyone, 'Finally, now everything is perfect.' He drank, feasted, boasted. He forgot to give thanks, forgot to look at the sky. And one night, his home caught fire. Everything burned. His house, his supplies, his illusions. Only emptiness remained. When he came to Hakim, the sage said, 'You repeated, everything is perfect, but you were not grateful. You confused calmness with triumph. Remember, calmness is not the absence of difficulties. It is readiness for everything. It is inner support. It is the ability to rejoice without clinging.' The sun dipped toward the horizon. They walked in silence, and the sage told another story. A caravan crossed the desert. Everything was calm. There was water, there was food. One traveler said, 'What luck! Everything is perfect!' The old guide stopped. 'Be silent! Do not call forth the storm.' The next day, a sandstorm struck. Those who had boasted were lost, but the old man saved the caravan because he was ready. The guest walked beside him, now without a smile. In his eyes was the attention of someone who had heard not just words, but meaning. 'So what should I say if I can't say everything is perfect?' he finally asked. Hakim smiled calmly. 'Say, today is peaceful and I am grateful. Say, now is quiet and I am not attached. Say, life flows and I observe. But never claim that you are beyond change, because life is change.' They returned to the hut. The sand cooled. The sky was deep, like a spring. The first stars appeared. Hakim poured water and handed a cup to the guest. 'Drink. This is not just water. It is a reminder. Everything you hold is not yours. Everything you love is temporary. Everything you fear will pass. Do not say, 'Everything is perfect.' Say, 'I am on the path. Today is a gift.'" The guest drank in silence. He said nothing more. He simply bowed and left. And he never again repeated the phrase that invites pride. He became quieter, and in that quiet, he grew wiser.
You might ask, so what? It's just a beautiful parable. But it is metaphors that save us in moments when logic fails. When life cracks at the seams, tables and plans won't hold. What holds is a single phrase, spoken at the right time. Or sometimes, silence. Do you know the trouble with modern man? He seeks stability in a world where nothing is permanent. He builds fortresses on sand and is surprised when they crumble. He says, "Now everything is perfect," and stops being attentive. But the world does not forgive those who are distracted. So true sages do not say, "I am happy." They say, "I am grateful." Because happiness is not a result. Happiness is a state. And states change, like breath, like wind, like time. Now, practice. Words matter, but what matters more is how you live between the words. Here are a few simple steps to maintain your inner support and avoid the trap of the phrase, "Everything is perfect." Practice 1, morning alignment. 3 minutes. When you wake up, sit on the edge of your bed, place your hand on your chest, take 3 slow breaths. Whisper, "Today is peaceful, and I am grateful. I am attentive to change." Don't promise yourself eternal happiness, just acknowledge you are alive, you are here, you are listening. Practice 2. The thread of the day, silent pause. Every 3 to 4 hours, pause for 30 seconds. Look within and ask, what am I grateful for right now? The answer doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes one word is enough, breathing. This is enough to keep you from sliding into complacency. Practice 3. The evening water ritual. 5 minutes. Pour water into a clear glass, place a small stone beside it. A stone that symbolizes light and clarity for you. Some prefer a sunstone, warm, reminding them of inner peace. Turn off unnecessary lights, sit upright. Say, "Today is a gift. I give thanks for what was, I release what I held too tightly." Take 3 slow sips. Hold the stone in your palm. Mentally say, "I do not cling. I am ready for change." Return the stone to the table. Finish the water. That's all. A simple ritual, but it teaches you not to shout, "Everything is perfect," but to whisper, "Thank you." Practice 4. Replacement words. Instead of "everything is perfect," say, "Today is quiet, I am grateful." Now is calm, I am attentive. Things are moving, and I am not attached. These phrases do not call forth storms. They create ground for stability. Practice 5. Check your attachments. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 things you are glued to. Status, income, others' opinions, roles, habits. Next to each, write 1 step to loosen your grip. Delegate a task, skip an unnecessary purchase, turn off notifications for the evening, spend a day without social media, say no where you used to say yes. A small release today is a greater freedom tomorrow. One more story, short but precise. In a mountain village, an old man sat on his porch every evening just looking at the horizon. Neighbors asked, "What are you thinking about?" He replied, "I'm not thinking, I'm listening." Listening to what? The silence between events. That's where my peace lives. One day, his grandson was born. Everyone rejoiced, clapped, wished for eternal happiness. The old man raised his hand. Joy, yes. Forever, no. Let's be grateful now and attentive tomorrow. A year later, the family faced hardship, but they coped more easily than others. Not because they were stronger, because they were more attentive.
And one more example, from the sea. A sailor, on his first ocean voyage, rejoiced in the calm water and told everyone, "Everything is perfect." The old captain smiled. Remember, calm seas are not your doing. That's the weather. Your doing is the order on deck, the taut ropes, and the ready life buoys. Praise not the calm, praise readiness. What to do if the trial has already come? 3 steps to regain your footing. Name it quietly. Say, "This is hard." Don't shout, don't dramatize. Name it and breathe. Narrow your focus. Ask yourself one question. What is the next small step? Pour water. Call the right person. Go to bed on time. Don't seek guarantees. Seek the step. Return to gratitude. Not for everything being perfect, for one thing, for breath, for a friend, for a cup of tea, for seeing the morning. Gratitude is not a report, it's a seatbelt. You might notice, but isn't positivity important? It is. Just let it be not a shout, but attentiveness. Positivity rooted in attentiveness gives strength. Positivity that shouts, "Everything is perfect," leads to carelessness. In a world of change, stability is built not from promises, but from practices, from simple actions repeated daily, from a phrase whispered, "Today is peaceful and I am grateful." Sometimes it's useful to check your speech. Listen to yourself for a week. Every time you feel like saying everything is perfect, stop and ask, what do I really want to say? If you want to share joy, say, "I rejoice," and add gratitude. If you want to boast, ask yourself, what do you truly lack? Support? Approval? The feeling of being in the right place? Name it honestly, then you won't need a loud mask. And remember Hakim's formula, short like a breath. Do not shout about the calm, keep your ship in order. Do not curse the storm, hold your course. Do not promise yourself eternity, hold your attention. If you've listened to this point, it says a lot. You weren't seeking another dose of noise. You were seeking meaning. And that means inside you is already what you need. The ability to listen to the silence between events. You can take a small step right now. Sit comfortably, take a deep breath. Whisper, "I am grateful for this day. I do not hold on too tightly. I am ready for change." And sit in silence for half a minute, just half a minute. That's enough for the world to become half a tone quieter and for you to become stronger. Life listens. If you shout loudly, "Everything is perfect," be ready, it will decide to test you. If you say quietly, "I am grateful for this day," it may give you one more. Not as a guarantee, as a chance. Stories end, but reflections are just beginning. Leave yourself with this thought. Don't rush back into the noise. Stay in the silence for a minute. Feel, you exist. You breathe. You are not obliged to be happy. You can be attentive. If this resonates with you, share it. Perhaps your words will become someone's support. And if you want to say thank you, just pass this on. Maybe someone needs one simple phrase right now.